Hey, you're looking at a live shot of the Caterpillar Arena at the LMC 2013 regolith mining competition in sunny Florida now.
Sunny for a moment.
Sunny for a moment. It's still a little overcast, but we are wringing out our clothes and the whole set.
I tell you, the rain was daunting. We were in a not just a rain delay. There was a thunderstorm warning, and everybody was asked to retreat to safety. We all did. We've weathered it, and it looks like any moment now the competition will, I can't say resume. I would have to say it will start in earnest, because this all took place just before we started the competition.
Yeah, we were about to have the University of North Dakota team and University of Alabama get into the arena. Actually, North Dakota is still in the arena because actually that's when the sky kind of opened up and the rain started coming.
Yep.
So it looks like we're going to be starting here in a few minutes.
It almost turned into the regolith aquatic competition.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it is an aquabot.
Aquabot.
Yep.
I tell you what, just around our area where you're seeing our broadcast, I mean, there was a river coming through here. We had to take a lot of our equipment and move it out and put it on high ground.
Yep, but we're all safe, and it looks like if the weather holds, competition will start, and we'll continue to provide live coverage of the LMC 2013 regolith mining competition.
So we'll come back in a few minutes, and hopefully we'll kick this off.
Absolutely, and we'll come back before the competition starts in earnest.
Hey, we're back live.
Yeah.
A little worse for wear. I feel a little weather beaten, but good to be back.
I saw someone walking around a little earlier with some duck boots. I was digging in my pocket. I was going to say, how much can I offer you for those boots? Because I need them now.
That's not the whole story. Then we're walking out of the education building, and this woman comes out, and she's got a hair covering.
That's right.
And Franklin literally had his wallet out. He's I'll take anything.
But I was buying it for you.
Well, yeah. I don't have much hair. I need a forehead kind of dome covering.
As you can see, I prepped for the occasion.
Yeah, very good.
Hey, just want to, for those who are joining us now, we are NASA Edge, the podcast that takes an inside and outside look at all things NASA. We're down here at the NASA Kennedy Space Center Visitors Complex for LMC 2013, the regolith mining competition.
Home of the soon-to-be open Atlantis experience.
That's right.
Very, very nice structure and exhibit guests that they have outside, so you can see it coming and going, and hopefully we'll be able to get in and get a little advanced viewing of the Atlantis before we leave.
Of course, we ought to be able to squeeze that in on one of these rain delays.
That's right.
Because it looks like we might experience another delay.
Well, because we actually had a lengthy delay. In fact, the first delay started around 10:35, and here it is 12:37, almost a 2-hour delay. And hopefully that will hold off, because we have a lot going on for the rest of the afternoon.
Yeah, and just remember, we are not calling for weather just because of rain. It is only if there's thunder. We can handle a little bit of rain.
Lightning.
For the, what did I say, thunder?
Yes.
I apologize. We really don't mind thunder. It's the lightning that is the real troublesome spot. Right. So it's only for safety reasons that we'll actually shut the competition down.
Or magnetosference.
Well, that's kind of a universal natural law that we have to deal with space weather.
But like I said, we have actually officially started the competition, because when we left, North Dakota was in the arena, and we were still waiting for Alabama. And in fact, if we go to the arena now, we actually see North Dakota still in the arena, and we're waiting for Alabama to go into A2.
And for the record, Chris, you didn't think North Dakota had a chance in this competition. It was Franklin and I that picked them to win, and you really didn't think they had a chance to win the competition at all.
No, that's incorrect, because if you recall, and I know it's been 2 hours. I selected 3 schools.
That's okay.
I said
true.
North Dakota, University of Alabama, and Iowa State.
So you couldn't give us a definitive.
That's an official
Pick,
hedging of bets.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay. I will go out now and say since we haven't officially started, I will say Iowa State will repeat as champs this year.
Well, not a bad pick.
Not a bad pick at all.
We haven't had a repeat champion at at the regolith mining competition, but we will.
Ever.
Yes, ever.
Not in its 4-year history have we had that
Right.
happen. So this could be a first. We don't think so. I think North Dakota will take it, although obviously Iowa State will be very competitive in this arena, so it should be good.
Let's kind of recap, since we actually been off the air for 2 hours. Some of the viewers who are coming back on, and they're probably taking a break at work.
Dry.
Getting lunch, staying dry, or...
Temperate.
Let's go back and let's talk about who's actually going to be competing today, because remember, in this competition, there are 2 rounds.
Sure.
And so not every team is going to be going today. It's going to take at least a day and a half, and at this point with the rain delay, it could take a little bit longer to go through round 1. So let's, if we can go ahead and see. I don't think we're going to get every school in today, just because of the time.
Correct.
We may, but we'll see how things go. So starting off is University of North Dakota, and they're going to be in A1, as you see on the screen there. And University of Alabama will be in A2, and they kick it off.
That's right. And in round 2, we have Florida Institute of Technology in A1 up against Karori Mall, University of Delhi.
Well, just a clarification, it's not round 2 of the competition.
I'm sorry, you're right.
It's round 1. This is, you could actually say...
it's the second
grouping.
Yeah, second grouping.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sorry, we're confusing you with terms, but essentially, that's who will be competing next
2,
today.
right.
Group 2, yeah.
And in round 3, we have...
Or group 3 would be group 3.
Group 3.
Yeah.
We have Montana State and Middle Tennessee State University. And on our rundown right here, it says versus, but they're not going up against one another.
That's right.
They're going up against the field.
Right.
So, so if you see versus anywhere, kind of just put that to the side.
Right.
Yeah, because really it is an individual team competition. And it's also an audio competition here. We have lots of activity going on.
That's
If
right.
you can hear that in the background, teams are very busy moving their rovers around and trying to get back into the swing of heated competition.
So
Get back. Or
I'm
get
sorry.
into.
Yes, that's man, we got to start around soon, so all my verb tenses will work.
So group 4, we have North South University from Bangladesh and the University of New Hampshire. Group 5, University of North Carolina Charlotte, or UNC Charlotte, and Embry-Riddle.
Yep. And then Group 6, we have Universidad de los Andes at the same time as the University of Arkansas.
Group 7, Virginia Tech and Chittagong University of ENT, Bangladesh.
Very good. And Group 8, Manipal Institute of Technology versus the Polytech Institute of Technology, which is part of NYU.
And Group 9, Colorado School of Mines. They've been around for several years here at the competition, versus the first Canadian team, York University.
Now, refresh my recollection. York did pretty good. Was it 1 year, 1 or 2?
Laurentian University.
Yeah.
Laurentian, I'm
Laurentian,
sorry.
yes, University.
It's funny.
he was from Canada.
I could sense the tension because I was like, I think it was
It's
Laurentian.
Yes, it was Laurentian.
Yeah.
And they did extremely well.
Yes.
They I think they won. If we think of extremely well being victorious, then yes.
And if I correct me if I'm wrong, but that's when they beat University of North Dakota.
Because the University of North Dakota came out like gangbusters.
They did.
And
Yes.
Laurentian pulled up in the rear and just like
Because they had a
late
conveyor
in the day,
system.
they had a conveyor
whereas
system.
North
that just-
Dakota had the scooper.
yeah, and they were just dumping.
Oh yeah,
Right.
it was crazy.
It was crazy.
And it was very exciting. But it's interesting because I got to go back to my pick for this year's competition. The thing that impressed me about North Dakota, they had a working design that obviously performed very well, and they fundamentally redesigned their excavation system with this drum technique, which is not necessarily. I mean, we don't know how that's going to perform, but I love it when teams do that, when they don't just. They're willing to take a chance and totally redesign their robots and compete with them and not knowing necessarily whether they're going to get the same result.
And one thing I heard this year, if it's not broke, there's no need to fix it. But I see some teams went ahead and lightened up their excavators. They've worked on areas that needed some work. And right now, see those nice wheels. Yeah.
Oh man, I'm having flashbacks.
Man, they got that thing painted that Earl Shop.
Yeah.
We have Group 11.
Yes.
Group 11. So you want to go ahead and say?
Oh, I'm sorry. Group 11. That's Purdue University.
No. Group 10.
Case
10,
Western
yep.
Reserve University and Instituto di Astrobiologia from Colombia, and they're a returning team.
Yes. And then to finish off day one with Group 11, Purdue University, which is a first-time team, versus the Milwaukee School of Engineering, which has been around for several years.
I think we're going to be chasing the sun on today.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I think, it's going to be a challenge to get through all 11 groups.
And
22 schools.
And in all fairness to the audience, we'll give you a heads up if we know that competition is either going to go long to try to accommodate some of these, or whether we will actually end before the schedule is met. We will do that. We'll let you know in plenty of time. So if you're particularly tuning in to watch one of your favorite teams and that's moving to tomorrow, we'll try to let you know as soon as possible.
Now, as we're looking at the arena, we're getting ready to start the competition. We see a lot of people wearing bunny suits and respirators, gloves. Why is that, Blair?
Well, actually, the BP1, the regolith, can cause problems for breathing. It's not good. It's not poisonous or anything like that. It's just it can kick up a lot of dust. And so for safety reasons, if you're in there operating, they want all the people working on the robots and teams and the people in the arena, they want them to be safe. Right. So the suits are there to also collect it because they don't want it blowing away. They need to recover it and continually replenish the arena. So it's just a well-designed system to make sure the competition is sort of equal for all teams throughout the competition.
And later, yesterday afternoon, I was actually going to go into the arena and shoot some B-roll of one of the rovers, and they let me know that I needed a respirator, but that I could shoot the rover while it was standing still. One thing we've seen over the years is that when those rovers start working and excavating, they kick up a lot of regolith, and it sometimes will just turn the entire arena into like a dust bowl.
Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
especially those systems that had that conveyor belt system where they really just crank it up.
Absolutely, and when that BP1 gets in the air, it is very hazardous to your health if you don't have a respirator on. So
now, I'm sorry, Franklin. It looks like they are coming out. That is Alabama's robot in A2, and so it looks like we are getting close to start time here. Looks like some excavation work is being done in A1. They sort of reset the arenas each time, make sure they're equally challenging for both teams.
Now, the Alabama in A2 looks like it has a double scoop system going on.
And that's a new feature, Franklin.
Right.
This year, they basically, the best way to describe it, last year's robot was half of that. It basically had that scoop on the front end, and I don't remember exactly how the back looked, but they literally just duplicated it on the other end. And I'm curious to see how it works, but again, I like to see what the teams are doing in terms of design and trying to be more efficient.
Well, keep in mind, remember from last year with Alabama, their whole concept was a modular design. So they actually had several components in terms of wheels, different wheels, scoopers. So it seems like as if they kept that same idea in mind, but they're just adding a few new features.
I'd be curious to talk to that team when they get out of the arena to see how many carryovers they had, sophomores, juniors who are seniors now, or whether or not it was the faculty advisors, kept with the same design, the modular design that they build upon, that they worked on and added for this year.
Yeah,
Again, we're here at the NASA Kennedy Space Center Visitors Complex in Florida, getting ready for LMC 2013, the regolith mining competition. We're just minutes away from the 4th annual event.
As you can see, we'll have a number of different views throughout the day. This shot is from the regolith bin. This is looking down at the starting position of both of the bots in the arena, and here.
Okay, and that's actually a new view this year. Caterpillar, this is what we call CAT-CAM, This is provided because we noticed from some of the end arena views that sometimes when the teams are delivering regolith, the scales weren't showing results. And what you can see here is a nice profile shot. So if a team doesn't quite make it to the hopper at the end and is missing it, we'll be able to verify that now. So this is actually exclusively provided by Caterpillar. They're providing this close view just so you can get an up-close look at how regolith is ultimately being developed. And this happens for both A1 and A2.
Ryan on the switcher. You got any more views for us, Ryan?
Of course. This is obviously the traditional view. And there we have our mission control. And I can't tell what
and
school
again,
that
and
is,
again, the schools are in separate vehicles. They're not in the same vehicle operating their robot, and they're only given certain camera views, and that's it. They only have 1 or 2 camera views, and that's all they have to work on.
Right, and one view that they are given is sort of considered the lunar view, or not the orbiter view.
Right.
So that if there was something else there to give them a top-down view, that's very normal for any kind of exploration situation where you may not have a view, a POV, if you will, from your robot. You may need an orbiting view, so everybody does get a view similar to this if they need some help teleoperating.
And one view that we don't have is the on-bot cameras that each of the teams have.
Right.
Because they have cameras on their bots, so they can see some stuff that we can't.
That's
Right.
true, and one thing that's important to remember about that, the views from the robots themselves, that's a communication issue. They're trying to use as little bandwidth as possible. So they may try a low quality camera, a lesser quality, may not send the same bit rate. They're trying to minimize what they're using for communication.
So I can assume that they're not watching HD.
Yeah, no Hulu on any of those
Okay, good deal.
robots out there.
And finally, too, with this year, you get more points if you can showcase full autonomy. So if you have a bot that goes in there and it's fully autonomous, you're going to pick up some major points.
Yeah, and Alabama did say that they have worked on autonomy. They're going to attempt it. We might be able to see that in the during the competition in mission control. If you ever see a mission control and the robot's moving and they're not doing anything, they are under full autonomy. There's no semi-autonomy rule this year.
Now, a new feature that you're going to see at the bottom of the screen this year as we go through each grouping, you're actually going to see the amount of regular simulant that's going to be dumped into the hoppers, and you'll see that below. So we have each side, each school in the right order, and so you're going to see it live, real time. You'll be able to see how much they're actually collecting.
Yeah, and as you see some of the scale movement, there are actually people still moving around back there, so they're obviously working with the scale for University of North Dakota right now.
Now, hopefully that will go to 0.0 when we start, because if you start out negative, then it's
Well, that's what they call a handicap,
Handicap,
in the regolith competition.
Again, each school has 10 minutes to collect as much regular simulant as possible and to deliver it into the hopper. And one more point before we actually start, you're going to notice that each bot is in a different position. That's just randomly drawn before they go in there. So it's going to be different for each grouping.
That's right, Chris. There are two components to placement. There is the placement sort of geographically where they're positioned. We have started, they're off, and then their angle, where they're directed is all actually randomly generated. And they have to cross that line at the bottom of the screen to actually begin collecting regolith.
So it looks like North Dakota's got off to an early jump.
Yep.
One of the things that when we're talking to the students from North Dakota, we asked them, what parts, systems, or aspects of their bot they were most confident that will work during the rounds, and they said it was their excavator. They're pretty confident that drum system is going to deliver plenty of simulant.
Yeah, and the thing to watch for that drum is they said one area of concern they had with the drum, even though they love the idea, is once it's down, trying to gauge how far down they need to go to continue collecting the regolith. So there is a little bit of guesswork, and obviously when you're teleoperating something, you don't have sort of a feel that you're grabbing stuff. So they're going to have to work on that.
Now I wish we could get another view to the excavation area right now, because we can't really see how the teams are digging right now. North Dakota is on its way back to the bend to make a dump, and we'll see.
Here we go.
Here shortly. Yes.
Very interesting to see how much they get on this first run.
And remember, one of the things they said about their design is that their wheels are wide and they have cleats, so that they feel that their wheel design is perfect for this type of surface.
Yep. And as you can see that now they have, okay, wow, all right, very good.
On the board, 15 kilograms. Now, on the flip side of that, when we talk about the positives, one thing that North Dakota said in terms of the negative was that they were sort of unsure about their electrical system, because they had few electrical engineers working on the team.
And what we don't know right now is we don't know whether or not Alabama is operating autonomously or not. But as you can see, from our vantage point, it looks like they have regolith in both of their bins.
And as we talked about, a few minutes ago,
okay, no, only one.
One of their strengths to the Alabama bot is their mobility design, their platform.
Yeah, they actually incorporated 3D printed wheels. Very, very advanced technique as they developed their Lunabot.
I'm locked in here. I'm sorry.
No,
yeah, but and they also like their digging module, because they just added, like Franklin, like you said earlier, they added a second scooper, and it's the same exact design from last year. And
there we go. There's Cat Cam. You can see Alabama's positioned over the hopper. Very nice.
Now I'm curious to why they went with the double scoop design.
Okay, so they looks like they got 6 kilograms, 6.2 kilograms. That's good.
I think when I want to ask.
We'll ask them when they come.
And,
absolutely.
North Dakota, and it's interesting. Look at that, how the regolith, that is perfectly positioned. You can see as regolith drops, they are at the right spot for optimal performance there. Good job, North Dakota.
We need to work in any NASA Edge sticker on that drum.
That's right.
Yeah. The
nice
next
product placement.
Very good. They're doing quite well. Now, Franklin, back to your question about Alabama. The interesting thing is, you can see that they're extended on both when they deliver. I know that weight becomes a big issue, and sometimes that other bin that's mirrored on the other side can provide some stability.
Counterbalance for the
absolutely
might be front or back heavy.
And then one of the things that Alabama focused on this year, because they were since they did very well last year in the competition, they want to just take that design concept, but now improve the autonomy and actually go for full autonomy.
Now, and that is a good point, because Chris, if Alabama is operating autonomously during this run, that is a huge scoring advantage. So right. We'll find out when they total the final scores. Based on the kilograms, we'll know whether they were autonomous or not.
Well, Alabama predicted anywhere between 36 to 80 kilograms of regolith simulant.
Back to the stability issue, Franklin, one of the things that they said happened that was really concerning for the Alabama team, when they were doing their tests back at the school, they went to demonstrate it, and during the demonstration, it literally tipped over in the middle of their demonstration, and they said it was funny. It wasn't funny at the time. They were able to laugh about it, but stability does seem to be an issue when you're dealing with these kind of structured robots. And North Dakota is back at the hopper.
In talking to the members from North Dakota, they have a lot of new team members this year, and one of the challenges that they had throughout the year was actually designing this new drum system. But it looks like it's working well for them right now.
Yeah, and we've seen a drum system used before, but it's really good to see it performing well again here in this competition. I love the cat cam. This
Cat.
is a really nice view of Alabama approaching the hopper.
Need a little bit more height. Oh, they're going straight angle.
Well, the interesting there, Franklin, is you see lots of articulation on it. It's not they've got a lot of flexibility in how they deliver that.
Now, North Dakota predicted that they thought they could make 4 or 5 trips of holding about 20 kilograms of simulant each time. So,
when they first started off, it took them 10 seconds to get to the excavation area. So moving around in the lunar arena is not an issue for the North Dakota team, but I think they have to see how much they actually gather when they start that drum machine and start digging, and how much they dump, and see whether or not they could probably collect more and more each run. Because at this rate, at the 5-minute mark, they might get around 110, 120 kilograms.
yeah, we're just under 3 minutes now. Yeah.
Under 3 minutes, I'm sorry.
The tricky part, though, and this is, and North Dakota said this, their concern in this was with their design as they started to drop it down and dig, that it's hard to gauge at what point you have diminishing return, whether you're actually collecting it.
Right.
The other thing that's also tricky about that, for Alabama in terms of their design, it scrapes smooth across the surface. North Dakota actually might be digging holes, and in return trips that might create more obstacles. So there are lots of factors that go into this. We're approaching 2 minutes, and I tell you, North Dakota looks to exceed their. If they get another good solid run, they look to exceed their prediction of 90 kilograms for a run.
Yeah, actually, the Alabama team actually tipped over their bot during the practice run. So it looks like they're controlling it pretty well right now.
I'm really curious whether they're operating autonomously or not.
Hey, big kudos to the University of North Dakota team. We asked them what was some heartwarming or hilarious moment that happened throughout the year, and they said that they were named by the mechanical engineering faculty at the school as the outstanding mechanical engineering senior design project for the work on this rover. So it's good kudos to the team.
They're earning it now, let me tell you. It looks like with almost a minute left, they're going to make at least one more run.
Absolutely.
And Alabama, they're doing well, all things considered. We've seen many teams in the past have come in and struggled with communication, and that obviously still can happen, but right off the bat we're seeing two teams compete very well, and that's encouraging. Really nice view from Caterpillar right there.
And it's good to see the competition get underway and the teams actually make some moves, because in past years, off the bat, we'd see some of the bots just stalled in the arena and not even move. But it looks like, because we have some returning teams that have some time in the arena, they're showing their skill.
We're down to the last sub 30 seconds, and we're actually officially going to get the first group completed for this competition.
This is great.
Less than 10 seconds.
Absolutely.
Now keep this in mind. Now we see 94 plus kilograms for North Dakota and only 39 for Alabama. Don't forget, it's also weight involved. And if the more the more your bot weighs, the less points you get. So even though you might collect a lot of regolith, if you weigh a lot, then that's gonna cost you as well. So there's a lot of different trade-offs that you have to look at when you design your bot.
And these are not final scores. These are obviously the amount of regolith that's collected
Correct.
in this round. The other factors that we mentioned, the communication, autonomy, other factors will be added together to make their final score, which we'll get to later. But obviously, a really solid opening group here with North Dakota and University of Alabama.
And one thing that we'll try to do from time to time as these teams exit the arena, we'll try to pull a representative off to come to the set and talk about the run and see what worked and what didn't work, and give you an opportunity to look inside the teams and see how they manage their time in the arena.
And what is going to be their strategy for round 2.
Absolutely.
Good sign to see the folks going in to recover their robots. We're going to stay on these cameras, but we're going to try to get team representatives over here when we can and talk to them firsthand about their experience in the arena.
So I just want to let you know, we're going to come back in a couple minutes. With anytime you're dealing with the live shows and we're out in the open field here, and we do have some technical issues from time to time. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to drop off Ustream for just like a minute or two, and we got to do some adjustments because of weather and other issues that we were flooded out earlier.
Yep.
So we're going to be right back, and when we come back, hopefully we'll have a representative, Franklin, from University of North Dakota, and one from Alabama.
Absolutely.
All right.
Be great.
You're watching NASA Edge.
An inside and outside look
At all things NASA.